Test 1, 2, 3.
We have to turn these ones on.
We don't have a light. Do.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't.
It's only for, the sound's only for their benefit. So. What? For the recording.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go ahead and call to order the Tuesday, June 27th meeting of the St. Bernard Community Improvement Corporation. If we could please have a roll call by the secretary. Present.
Tom Wilson,
Present.
Bob Culbertson,
Here.
Joe Brickler,
Here.
Peggy Brickwick,
Here.
Ray Culbertson,
Here.
Chris Sauer,
Here.
Chris Schildmeyer,
Present.
and Amy Osmalley.
Here.
Okay. And on the back side of your agenda would be your minutes. Are there any questions regarding the minutes as presented, and is there a motion to accept them?
A motion to accept this?
Second.
All right. Treasurer's report.
All right. The balance in the First State Bank as of end of last month, $60,638.06. The balance inside of Fifth Third was $366,558.53. I'm still waiting on the payment to Hamilton County to clear, so that'll take that down by, I think it was around 50,000, I want to say, give or take. So once that comes down, so I would say, in all intents and purposes, we're probably closer to 320, more 310.
Are you talking about the property tax?
Property taxes, yep.
Okay. Before we actually start going through our action items, I'm going to ask for a motion to go into executive session at the beginning of the meeting for the disposition of property.
I'll make a motion, and then we go.
Executive session for the disposition of
second it.
property.
I'll second that.
Everybody's all excited because
Great guy.
we haven't had a meeting in a while. Everyone's all over this.
Trigger happy.
On the motion to go into executive session for the disposition of property, Jonathan Stuchel,
Yes.
Tom Wilson,
Yes.
Bob Culbertson,
Yes.
Joe Brickler,
Yes.
Peggy Brickwick,
Yes.
Ray Culbertson,
Yes.
Chris Sauer,
Yes.
Chris Schildmeyer,
Yes.
Amy Osmalley.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to just excuse ourselves for a short time, and we will be back.
motion to come out of executive session.
I motion we come out of it.
Executive session?
I
Second that.
it. Third, fourth, what the hell?
On the motion to come out of executive session, Jonathan Stuchel,
Yes.
Tom Rolfson.
Yes.
Bob Culbertson.
Yes.
Joe Brickler.
Yes.
Peggy Brickwig.
Yes.
Ray Culbertson.
Yes.
Chris Sauer.
Yes.
Chris Schildmeyer.
Yes.
Amy Osmond. Yes.
Do you want to ask for the motion?
Would someone like to make a motion to retain services with respect to the tax increment financing for TIF related to the shopping center development?
I'll make that motion.
And aren't we doing it up to a particular amount? We're also making the motion approving that and, okay, here,
I'll second that.
we're putting a dollar amount on it. So we were,
Is this for the TIF one?
yes.
Not to exceed $50,000.
And I'm sorry, who's second?
Me.
Thank you, Ray. The motion to hire the TIF attorney for an amount not to exceed $50,000, Jonathan Stuchel,
Yes.
Tom Rolfson.
Yes.
Bob Culbertson.
Yes.
Joe Brickler.
Yes.
Peggy Brickwig.
Yes.
Ray Culbertson.
Yes.
Chris Sauer.
Yes.
Chris Schildmeyer.
Yes.
Amy Osmond. Yes. I now need a motion for the retention of legal services for the shopping center development.
I'll make a motion for the retaining of legal services for the disposition of the property for the shopping center.
And I second it.
A motion for legal services retention for the shopping center development, Jonathan Stuchel,
Yes.
Tom Rolfson.
Yes.
Bob Culbertson.
Yes.
Joe Brickler.
Yes.
Peggy Brickwig.
Yes.
Ray Culbertson.
Yes.
Chris Sauer.
Yes.
Chris Schildmeyer.
Yes.
Amy Osmond.
Yes.
We're good? Okay, great. All right, next under action items, the potential for needing to hold a special meeting for approval of insurance coverage for the shopping center. Just to make you all aware, we were contacted by Marymount Insurance, who actually, we have policies through them with Frankenmuth. Post-COVID, insurance carriers have started going and actually investigating the buildings that they're insuring, and based on the fact that we have a $3 million evaluation on the building itself, they want to verify whether or not they're occupied. So of course, roughly half of the unit or the building itself is not. They also wanted to do an interior inspection on the building, which, you know, they're not working fire suppression systems in the Save-A-Lot portion, nor in the buffet portion. They also found in the Boost Mobile portion itself, as far as the panel there is, and Chris knows which Federal Pacific is not to code and has to be, that's electric service 100% has to be switched out. So I received notification that we had 30 days to make those, corrections and improvements. 4 days later, received notice that Frankenmuth was actually dropping coverage on that building. So we've been in communication with the agent who is, has applied for an extension on that by 30 days, because technically our coverage is supposed to end on the 7th, and we're seeking out their bids for a separate policy that would be outside of what we have that includes all of our other parcels. Currently, we're paying roughly $6,500 a year just for that building alone, and what was being, I guess, quoted would have been almost double, but we have not secured and he is actively working on that. And I have got some other agents to reach out to as well, but I mean, I'm not at a worried point as of yet, but the whole issue being is that we are going to I'm going to need approval of the board to go under contract with either another carrier or even to approve the new policy, which would exceed the current coverage that we've been paying for years. So I just want to make you all aware of that, so that I will be reaching out potentially, to again organize a special meeting specifically for that. So,
I got a question. We are renting out whole back end offer to the school, right? So that's occupied, right?
yes, that and that does help actually in the equation according to the agent. However, again, the only items that are being stored in there are just materials. So there wasn't any concern there. So hopefully there's not an issue where again we get disqualified by the fact that we don't have active sprinklers that are working. But we're at a point now where it would almost be cost prohibitive to put those in working order for the short period of time that I believe the building will be standing. So, but yes, I'm going to reach out to everyone, and hopefully, we can, if we have to get something scheduled quickly, we can get it done just so we are able to get this worked out. So, as much as I do now. Property maintenance, an issue that we need to kind of resolve. One, as you're obviously aware, that Boost Mobile was broken into some time ago, and we have been kind of going back and forth with their legal counsel as to whose responsibility it is for the maintaining the actual windows. As we've reviewed this, most leases obviously would have a clause relative to the glass. We need to make a decision as to what we're going to do, and just based, it is unsightly. I mean, it needs to happen. It looks awful. I mean, there've been some, the option being first off that we need to get an estimate on what it would cost to replace that. We still are in a position that if indeed is not in the lease that states that it is the tenant's obligation, it could be on us. And basically, if we could potentially file a claim with the carrier that's actually dropping us. I know we have a $1,000 deductible, but one of two things: we either need to do it or do something to make that area, a little more aesthetically pleasing and bring it up to code. So that is something that I'm working on right now. And, again, I would actually, if we need to, I don't know what the board's opinion, but we're going to be running out of time, whether we include that in the special meeting or whether or not you're going to give me authorization to, get bids and approve up to, a certain amount of money, or at least just at the minimum of whatever the deductible is.
That's what I say, especially if they're gonna be dropping us, let's just go ahead and
Might as
go
well
get
stick
bids.
to
and
'em.
So
make the
I was
decision.
made aware that they would be reviewing this lease as well, so.
Yeah,
you
so
know,
you make that decision and then go
and
with
I'm gonna
it.
forward this to them and let them know that what we've got, and we wish to start that direction. If not, and if we have to come back and pay for it on our own, or do one suggested option. Did you want to share your?
I'll make the motion.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
if, worst case scenario, if we, if demolition is going to be moving forward at some point in the very near future, and this comes back at some ridiculous cost,
Yeah,
we paint the wood, keep Cincinnati beautiful style, and
yeah.
make it look really nice.
Spray paint the
until then,
doors
but-
black.
Make windows?
No,
Yeah.
paint a window.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can paint a window,
They do
some
that.
flowers, nice flower box, those kind of things. Just something to, like, beautification efforts at a minimum, but I think this is
Yep.
obviously a better route
yeah.
in the
All
short
right.
term.
So,
So I make the motion that you go ahead and proceed with what the best option is of them replacing and versus using the insurance also.
I'll second that.
I think so, yes. You're approving me, because again, it's going to still cost us that minimum our deductible.
All those, on the motion for Jonathan Stuchel to determine the best option for the replacement of the windows at Boost Mobile, Jonathan Stuchel,
Yes.
Tom Rolson.
Yes.
Bob Culbertson.
Yes.
Joe Brickler.
Yes.
Peggy Brickwig.
Yes.
Ray Culbertson.
Yes.
Chris Sauer.
Yes.
Chris Schildmeyer.
Yes.
Amy Esmond.
Yes.
Thanks, Chris. Good luck. Good. All right, under the next portion are open discussion, additional agenda items. Before I ask if there's anyone other than myself, do have another open item. We do obviously have an opening on the board. As we had previously discussed a couple months ago about, again, getting back to the idea of cycling people out or bringing people back through the process. One of our issues that, again, has been the fact that we do have an upcoming election that could potentially change the entire dynamic based upon what our requirement to maintain the particular percentage based upon elected and appointed officials, residents, and business representation. The current open space that spot that we have would be a resident position. And I do think that we need to fill the void, but I still agree with the idea that we need to wait for any of the other positions until after the election, because it just doesn't make any sense, because again, that can entirely change. So I would like to actually open this up, advertise the opportunity for a resident to get involved, and, they make contact with a current board member, and I would actually invite them to be at our next, not the special meeting if we have to have it, but at the next regularly scheduled meeting, and try to bring somebody else on board. So if you have anyone that that's interested, spread the word, but I think we need to fill, Jerry's, spot, and, again, we obviously appreciate Jerry's long commitment to the board, but again, we need to move now. Does anyone have an objection to?
I agree.
So just to clarify, you're saying elections at the July?
Not elections,
Okay.
but just
Just
the one
elections.
spot.
Replacement.
Yeah.
The replacement to fill Jerry Wiedemann's position, his vacancy. So, just the one spot, and then we will address the remaining portion in November. Now, at this point, does anyone else have anything under?
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'd just like to thank the Garden Club and the people involved with sprucing up the outskirts of the square down there. Looks like they did a really nice job and make it a little bit more welcoming, and it's much appreciated.
I do agree. And, they did a nice job with the flowers, and it's looked nice. And also to let you know that this weekend, I will try to reach out, maybe the remaining portion of the mulch will be done. I'm picking up this week, so
Okay.
that'll be done around the bank building, and then we should be done, other than some weeding and some other pruning that has to continually be done. Anyone else have anything? Anyone in the audience? I'd like to welcome, of course, long time
He's not paying
friend,
attention. John's not.
John Mills, for finally showing up here again. We were wondering we were going to see you again. Speech or anything, John?
Jonathan,
Hot seat.
Yes.
did you say you wanted to talk about the grant during open session?
The grant. The grant.
Oh, yes. That's a good idea. Thank you.
What would he
I
do?
believe I even have hearing aids in. Sorry. Yes, just to let you all know that today, it hasn't officially been put on paper yet, but I did watch the Hamilton County Board of Commissioners meeting. The village actually applied for a grant through, again, Hamilton County, the revitalization grant funding, and we received $339,000 towards the demolition of the shopping center, which is actually a current estimate from O'Rourke. At this point, again, it would be paid for through the village, and then it's a reimbursement grant. So again, the village would be reimbursed through Hamilton County for that. And the reason that the village was able to actually apply for that grant itself is through the $2.9 million investment that they made for the original purchase. So again, seeing the overall potential, benefit to the village as a whole is how they were able to apply. And again, it was thrilling to watch that yes vote. The village has never applied for funds through Hamilton County for the revitalization funds. And again, there was a grading and scoring process, and based on the village's initial investment and the fact that we had never applied before, and the economic impact of the village as a whole, we were awarded the full amount that was asked. So I think that's awesome news. So anyhow, thanks for the reminder, Chris. Anyone else have anything? Is there a motion to adjourn? Oh, well, okay.
Who applied for that?
Um,
Not hard work, so whoever.
So with the cooperative effort through Alloy Development, which is the former HCDC, we retained Alloy Development to represent the village for economic development matters. They made me aware of the possibility of being able to get funds. They said, again, they reminded me of the fact that we've never applied for anything, and that it would behoove us, because again, they want to distribute funding to as many municipalities as possible, especially those that have never applied. So with their assistance, we've completed the application. I signed off and we got it. So, I mean, they brought it to my attention, so I can't say I read it. But yes, I signed my name.
The two questions, and I'll just ask both at the same time. Are we still doing that little run thing that we thought about? The CIC was gonna spend some money on, and then the other question is, are they selling parcels right now?
So let me start with the easy one first. We have not identified any new parcels as of yet. The goal for us was to try to get the shopping center project off the ground. Then we will tackle the opportunity of making other parcels available for future development in the remaining portion, say of Vine Street, that kind of thing. And then I'm going to let Chris answer the other question.
Sure. So we did go under contract with Go Vibrant to do walking trails. We went back and forth on 3 or 4 different revisions of those trails to accomplish several different goals. Proximity to all residents, proximity to industrial partners, hitting highlights of the village, including our parks and other areas, as well as good spots for pets, dogs, things like that. So it took a few different iterations, and then we basically did a kind of a quality assurance thing where we actually walked them through. Some sidewalks needed to be ground down for safety and other things like that. That part's been done. The signs are in production right now, so I've worked with the service department to put a plan together to get them hung. It is a total of, I believe, 5 different trails of various lengths, and obviously you can combine them. There'll be, there's a name for them, but I'll call them, I think it's like the master sign or something, that anyway, that shows the full route. There'll be at least 3 of those, but the primary one will be right outside this building, this main building. It'll be a big sign on a post that shows the whole thing. And there'll be others at some of the other big parks as well. So it's all going to tie together. We've been working on the digital portion that kind of ties in with the other things that we have, be it the fitness trail or the walking track or the dog parks, things like that. So it is coming. I know it's taken a long time, but the signs are in production, and we will see them very soon.
Anyone else in the audience have anything? So again, I show our next meeting, unless we do call a special meeting, as being on Tuesday, July 25th. But again, I will be reaching out to everyone if we do need a special meeting. At this point, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.